It is Friday, the 17th of February. It's 9:05 a.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order of the City Board of Assessment Review. If I could take a roll call.
Michael Vavanese. Carl Masterpole.
Joe Saya.
Sue Stroud.
Okay. Okay, so we have our first petitioner here, I believe 704 Caleb Ave. Okay, if you want to come on up and have a seat.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I didn't realize I was going to be in front of such a large group here.
Yeah, no problem at all, very informal.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is swear you in.
Okay.
Read some information into the record. And then answer some questions. We'll have a little conversation.
Sure.
Go over to the city, and then I'll come back to you for a final. Okay. So if you could raise your right hand.
Yeah.
State your name for the record.
Daniel, is that?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
So once again, this is 704 Caleb Avenue. This is is this a one-family rental?
It's a two-family.
It's a two-family rental.
Small two-family.
Two-family rental. Okay, so we have a current tentative assessed value of $80,000. And do you have a land value, Ed, by chance?
Land value is $14,700.
Land value is $14,700. And the petitioner believes that the fair market value is $50,000, which would be an equatable assessed value of $32,250. Just come through here, we've got just the application in here. Looks like you paid $30,000 approximately sometime in October of 2000.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you've owned it for quite some time.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. And I think I've got everything. Okay, so you've owned it for a long time.
Sure.
Just tell us a little bit about the property, size of apartments, bedrooms, baths.
Yeah, well, it's the house is over 100 years old,
Okay.
as far as I know. It's got two downstairs and basically one bedroom and a small side room upstairs. It's, I try to do the best I can with it. This is a picture of it right here. So it's
Could I take a look at
sure.
that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What's the nearest cross street?
It's Caleb and it's Midler and it's
So Caleb
and Highland right there.
I don't think it's Highland.
It's
Hillsdale?
Hillsdale?
Edwards, yeah, and
Okay, all right.
right by Brooklyn Pickle there, right on the corner.
Okay, all right, so you're far down, okay. So it's near Midler, on Caleb, in between Edwards and Midler?
Edwards.
Collingwood and Edwards? Okay,
Yeah,
okay. And so you've got a two-bedroom down, one bedroom up.
yeah,
It looks like there's a stone driveway.
yeah. Stone driveway.
Stone driveway.
It's got the foundation issues. It's got to have a roof on it put on, which I'm going to try to do. The tenants, it's a challenge being a landlord. Both my tenants, this month, I had my attorney. I had to take them both because they're both behind on the rent, and I try to work with them the best I can, to get them to pay the rent, and it's a challenge. And basically, by doing this with the attorney, this is the only way I can finally get them to get going with the rent.
Move along, okay.
Yeah, and
Doesn't look like they're, well, okay. How much are they behind?
One's 5 months behind, the other's 4 months behind.
Okay, so you got,
So that's the only way, you know, I have to do the court process to, and then they finally start to catch up again. And
Yeah,
it's,
no,
it's an ongoing.
it's a battle.
It's a battle, yeah.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure. What are the rents on both places?
So upstairs, they're both month to month. Upstairs is $525, downstairs $550, and I pay the heat and hot water, so.
Okay, so it's one furnace.
One furnace, yep, one hot water
You pay the
tank.
heat and hot water, they pay the electric and cooking gas.
So, yeah, I mean, bottom line is, you know, I have this place, I just want to have a little something for retirement. I don't have any pensions or anything that's going to come, so my plan is to sell this. It's assessed right now for $45,000. I got the notice to go to $80,000 for the assessment. I mean, if I could sell it for $80,000, I'd sell it right now today for $80,000. I really would.
Well, actually, I'll make you feel even worse. The assessed value
Yeah.
is 80,000.
Right.
So that would equate to, and actually I did not read that in, but that would equate to a market value of 124,000. $124,031.
124, I'd sell it months ago. I'd sell it.
Yeah, now I will tell you that property values have increased.
Oh,
in
yes, I
Eastwood.
understand.
And income property is still
Yeah.
pretty hot.
Yeah.
But certainly there's issues that come with it. But that's, you know, that's part of being a landlord.
Yeah.
Okay, so you told us it's going to need a roof, one heating unit.
So I got,
If you have pictures.
I got like foundation, like that's the basement wall right there. So I got, you know, it's an old foundation. It's over 100 years old, you know.
Understood. Of course, you know, you've owned it since
Yes,
2000.
yes.
I mean, you've got to,
Right.
you know,
I
do
got
the
you.
upkeep
I
too.
got it. You're right. Yeah.
So in that regard, and, you know, that's just,
It's got a furnace I replaced, a hot water heater I replaced. I've done interior stuff quite often.
can I swipe?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's got the old shingle on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks tired again.
Right.
You know, it is, you know, you've got to maintain. So with that, let me just, okay. All right, so I think I've looked at the pictures. Let me, if you're, don't have anything to add right now, let me just move it to the city.
Okay.
All right? And Ed,
Yeah.
was this yours? or-
No, this is Joe's. I'm representing for the city.
Let me explain. The assessor for that area is out on maternity leave.
Okay.
So that's filling in, so we're doing the best we can as
Sure.
far as that's concerned.
I used to handle the Eastwood area, so I'm very familiar with it. The petitioner, I don't know whether he's provided it or not, was asked to provide several years' worth of income and expense. I understand he's having difficulties right now, but part of his request, we sent out notices requesting information for the past 2 to 3 years, income and expense statements. To my knowledge, they're not in the file.
It's just the application.
That is an important part of valuation. We look at all approaches to value. Income approach is one of them. If he were to refinance the property, the rents appear to be low for Eastwood. I think you can get more than what you are, and maybe that's why you're moving to move on from your current tenants. You know, this is a small two-family. It's 1,248 square feet according to our records, but the pictures that I looked at makes it look a heck of a lot bigger than that. Do you know the square footage of the building?
I think it's just what you said. Right, 1248, right? Is that?
I mean, if you look at that picture, members of the board, you may have a different opinion than I do, but it does look like a much bigger house than what we have in our inventory.
Okay.
That being
Both
said,
apartments are small, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
Both apartments are small.
They may be, we got what we have. I mean, I can't change it. I'm looking at what we have. I can't change it. Do you have a survey of your property?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Are you able to get us some tax information?
Tax information, I could. So let's see, I pay quarterly downstairs. I
No,
come
we're
here
not
with
talking
some-
about
No,
real
I mean,
estate taxes.
income taxes, IRS.
Oh,
federal.
IRS
Right,
taxes.
like your Schedule C, see what you have made over the last few years.
Right, I could provide those. Yeah, I mean, I could bring those in, pass
Yeah.
tax form, sure.
That would be very helpful.
Yeah, okay.
Couple of years, please, so that they can analyze what's going on, because that is not, well, that's not the only way we value property. We look at the sales in the area.
Yeah, but that would give a little basis over really a 3-year period if you can. And that is something that we do try to have on file. When do you think you can bring those down?
I can bring them next week,
Okay.
week or two.
We're not open on Monday, so.
You're not open on Mondays, okay. I work Monday through, Fridays are basically my only day off during the week, so.
Okay, all right. They
I
could
can
be
also give my
emailed, too.
email.
What's that?
I can also give my email if that's
Right,
easier.
right, that could be emailed if you want to do that.
Okay.
But let's plan on having them here by next Friday.
Okay.
Based on that being your day off, but if you want to get Michelle's email address.
Yeah, okay.
Anything else you want to add?
I'll give you the comparable sales that
Sure.
you guys can make an adjustment to however you feel is appropriate.
Okay, so if you would please submit the tax returns 3 years if you can by next Friday. We'll put those in the file and then we'll deliberate after that. The city has given us some comps and stated their information. We got a picture of the house. And I saw your pictures again, and I've got the comps.
All right.
Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I just, like I said, I know
Yeah.
values have gone up. I just wanted like somewhere in between, basically, that's if it was possible to, when it jumped from 45 to 80, I just thought, wow, it's kind of a lot.
Admittedly, it's a big jump.
Yeah,
However,
I'm going to ask your permission to measure, to have somebody from my department, because I suspect that our information on the size of the building is not correct. I could be wrong, but looking at the picture, it looks a lot bigger than a 1,200 square foot house to me.
okay.
okay. And yeah, you can bring anyone over you want to measure it out,
If
sure.
you've got a survey, you could also fax that in. We could possibly, without having to go on the property.
Okay,
We don't want to disturb your
right.
tenants that
right, I
are
gotcha.
now
I gotcha. Yep,
fearing that there may be short-lived in the house.
right.
Well, I assume you have a copy of the survey.
I'll have to find it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gotta be somewhere.
Yeah, that would be good
Okay.
and helpful, and then we can measure that out. But it appears I've got everything that I need. After we get that information, we'll make a decision, and then we'll send you a letter in April.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, the
Sounds
only
good.
thing I was going to say is, just when was the last time this was reassessed?
Again, Joe did this, it's been years. It's been years, it's been low for years. Eastwood has been low, I'll make that general statement. Eastwood is one of the hottest markets in the city of Syracuse.
It is.
Outside the university, I would probably say it sells the most amount of properties.
That's good. I mean, like I said, I would take 80 right now. If someone offered me 80, I'd take it right now.
Don't leave the room as if somebody just walked in that's an investor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you say it's worth 124. I mean, that's mind-blowing right there.
Well,
But
again,
I'll take 80.
the only point I was going to make is that, you've probably been underassessed for several years.
Right.
So you
You've been
can
getting
take
a
some-
deal.
You can
Right.
take some solace in that.
Right, okay, I gotcha. I gotcha, okay.
So it kind of, it works itself out.
Right.
But-
I know assessments are going up, and I read in the paper too, the assessments are going way up for a lot of properties, and
Yeah.
So it's, you know,
But we want to put the correct assessment.
I got you.
Of
I got
course.
you, yeah.
So we'll take a look at the information
Okay.
that you're going to drop off. and
Okay.
then we'll send a letter first week of April.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, guys,
Thanks for
appreciate it.
coming in.
Thank you.
Of course.
This goes right to you?
Right to me.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You have a great day. Thank you. If you want to sign in, sir?
Dimensions where the shows 1,200 whatever square feet on the floor, but it's actually,
I'm assuming
floors and then it just didn't
747, 49 Allen Street.
that happens sometimes.
See that one there?
930.
I just noticed it when you were, yeah, it sounded, because we see a lot of 1,200 square foot flats, but the building's 24 and change.
Okay. Thank you. How are you?
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay. 747-49, 749 Allen Street.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let me, who's got this one on the city?
I think we both do, actually. Thanks,
Okay.
Joe.
Okay.
Getting Tom up here for the next one.
All right, if you could raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Giuseppe Zavalia.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So let me just read it in here, and then we'll have a little conversation. See what, okay, let me just disperse these. We've got the city submitted some general property information. I think that goes with it. They're both good, yeah. And some comparable information.
Yeah, got plenty.
Yeah, we're in good shape here.
Thanks.
We both have one. This is great, by the way. I think I said it when you haven't been here.
All credit to Ann, it was her brainchild.
Was it? I'll tell you. You know, you got the property information.
We did the
general-
typing, but it was Ann's idea.
Yeah, and then the comps and,
Good typing.
you know, when we have it here, it definitely helps. No question about it. Okay, so Mr. Zavalia has submitted some information which we'll take a look at. I'm just looking for the petition, right? Okay. So this is a two-family residence.
Yes.
And this is number 2 on our list. We have a current tentative assessment of $130,000 with a land value of $10,000. That would be an equatable full market value of $201,550. Property owner believes that the fair market value is 160 to 170,000. Do you want me to put 160 at this point? We can't have a range.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we'll go 160,000, and that is a equatable assessed value of 103,200. 103,200. Okay, and let me just thumb through here. Looks like you paid $98,694 on November 5th of 2019.
Yes.
And who'd you purchase that from?
I purchased it from receivership.
Okay, so it was a distress scenario. Okay. Okay, what else can you tell us about the property? Size of apartments, rents, you know, that kind of stuff, although I think I see some information on that.
Yeah, so I put the property in rental use this past spring. It needed a lot of work. new roof, windows. I spent a lot of money. So overall, I thought that for what the houses are in the area and stuff, that in my house compared to all the other houses, it seemed like we're all in the same condition now, being that the house is fixed. I should be around that value.
Of your neighbors?
Yeah.
Okay. And so do we have some information on, did you submit information on those values as far as the neighbors are concerned?
Yeah, I emailed it to, well, I did the assess. I went through all the houses in the area, and that shows,
Okay, got them.
and then what I did is I also did a CMA, and I submitted everything to Mrs. Hopkins
Okay.
3 days ago,
Okay, very good.
and I don't know if you guys,
Well, we've got, I'll continue to look through. I'm sure it's in here. I do see the neighborhood assessed values, so,
And I did see a copy of that too, so I know we've got it digitized someplace.
okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah, it was like 3 days ago. Valentine's Day.
Okay, very good. And, okay, so based on the information you submitted, you feel that everybody's around 160,000 or so over there?
Yeah, between,
Value-wise? Okay. Size of apartments, rents?
okay, rents are, I have them valued anywhere from 1,500 to 1,600, give or take. That also includes a space in the garage,
Okay.
and then they're roughly like 1,100, between 1,100 and 1,200 square feet, give or take.
How many bedrooms?
3 bedrooms.
Each of them are 3 bedrooms, 1 bath?
Yeah.
Okay. And is this are you renting the students by the bedroom, or is this families?
Families.
Families. That's nice rents. Good. Anything else you want to tell us about the condition of the property?
Overall, it's going to need more work.
What'd you do to it?
So I end up putting a new roof, end up doing some interior work, cabinets, flooring, windows, hot water tanks, did some foundation work, did exterior siding work.
So you put a lot of money into it?
Yeah.
Porch too.
Yeah, porch too.
Two.
Yep.
A strip off of the porch, whole new porch? Okay,
It was one of the worst houses in the whole,
which is good.
in the neighborhood.
It might have been the worst house in the whole neighborhood. We are, 3 city staff live on this block. We're not either of them, but it's a visible house, and boy, you guys have made a world of difference. This is
Oh,
a
I know.
very positive thing. This was without exaggeration 2 or 3 years from being a tear down, I think.
That's what myself and my family does. We did one, actually, you know, the house on James Street.
Yes.
It was the worst. And,
And now it's the nicest.
yeah, so,
Yeah, no, you definitely do good work, and I don't want you to think you're being penalized by, tax assessments, just trying to put the right value on it, and so anyway, let me, with that, go over to the city and see what you guys have to say. Was this an increase, or?
This was, and yeah, this is neither of our ward. This is the 17th ward, so we're picking this up. I just happen to be familiar with the block and the property. We're surprised not to see an exemption on here. I don't know if one was offered for this amount of work. I'm sure our office, I think so. Yeah, $80,000 bump, all physical increase should warrant that. Based on what I've seen of the scope of work, it would. We used market rents. We didn't have contract rents. I don't know that we have income and expenses. That would help. But contract rents jives with our understanding of market rents. So we're comfortable with the assessment. We've got sales comps, but the exemption is a whole different story. I mean, 5-year total exemption phased out 20% each year certainly would lessen, I mean, it's the intent of the exemption, not to penalize people for doing what everybody wants to see in a property.
Yeah, so basically what he's saying is on the whatever the increase is proposed to be or ends up being, then it's over a 5-year period?
Yeah, the increase over base, 80 in this case, would phase out at 20% each year. Start off with the entirety of the increase being exempt for the first year. The next year, 80% of that 80 would be exempt, and so on.
Yeah, so that's no matter what happens as far as,
We gave you one of those exemptions on James Street
Yeah,
when you
yep.
fixed that property. You are entitled to that in our opinion.
Yeah,
okay, so that's something you definitely want to apply for. I would say, you know, if you have time, maybe stop
Stop down, fill it out right away.
Room 130?
Yeah, and where you dropped off your
Dropped off the application.
Okay.
Room 130, that's where the assessment office has always been, but last year they were all over the place because they had an issue. Definitely, it's called 485J.
485J.
485J application. And that'll, you know, there's going to, you know, we're going to deliberate, of course. There's going to be an increase, you know.
Yeah, no, I
based on what you
get
do.
that. I just want to be valued fairly. you
Yes.
know?
I think that's, yeah, an important point. I think the discrepancy in the assessed values on the block is because the physical change in the permit triggers a reassessment of this property, not the block, but this block was due for reassessment either this year or next. And I think the assessor just didn't get that far into the neighborhood. I think he got about as far as Concord going south, and then the year ended. But I know Ed reassessed the whole neighborhood in 19, so Joe will be back for the whole block, not you, this year.
Yeah, Joe Less now, the assessor.
So that will equalize everything, I imagine.
Yeah, so that'll catch everything up next year then. Okay, so is there anything else you wanted to submit?
No, I think I submitted everything to Ms.
I have a
Hopkins
bunch
here.
of stuff here which we'll go through. That's your CMA, yeah. So I think we have everything that you had. If you're able to, please stop downstairs.
Before you leave the building, go downstairs.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
fill it out.
I'll, like, no one said anything to me when I,
That's unusual. That usually triggers our mailing it out, but, you know, unfortunately, things get dropped here and
yeah,
there.
with COVID.
Do you know where it is, the office?
Yeah, he's been
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, no, that'll definitely help, you know, smooth out the process.
Okay.
But thank you for everything that you submitted, and I think I've got leases. I think I've got what I need. If there was no income for.
Right, you just started leasing it this year, so, right,
21,
right.
so
So
we don't need tax returns and all that good stuff. We will look at everything, and then we'll send a notice out first week of April, but I think we're on the same page, and especially with the exemption.
Okay.
Very good. Is your father still alive?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still, we're still doing little projects in here and there, so.
Excellent. Yeah, 'cause I haven't seen him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
I haven't seen, very tremendous family. Except for Joe. Everybody else, they're good. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, tell your father I said hello.
I will.
Have a nice day, everyone.
take care, have a good day.
How's that, Jake?
Yeah, so it's probably about 5 or 6 up from James and Teal intersection on the south side of James.
Okay.
I think it. What property are we talking about? Joe's.
Good, Jake.
Yeah,
It's before you get to Teal.
that
Right,
was,
if you're coming this way, yes. If you're
If you're going out of town, it's
Right-hand side.
1 or 2 doors away from the corner of that.
I think it's a few more than that, but,
Not much.
yeah, I think it's maybe the 5th or 6th house.
He was living there.
Yeah.
I was absolutely wowed by what he put into that place.
That's nice.
Tom, I'll leave this one for you. Thanks for picking me up.
He does, and I'm not sure he's using his father's location, address now.
Willis, Milton. Correctly.
I don't think he's living.
We have,
I have to look and see if he's still got a star on the property, because it would have to come off.
Yeah, 'cause I
Not that he
see.
can't afford to pay the taxes.
Okay.
Must they come early?
Well, that's,
Usually people come a little early, so hopefully.
he stepped out.
We got an hour break.
Oh, I didn't look at
I might go get some real coffee.
Ready?
Get a little bit of a break, everybody.
How long?
Like an hour.
Geez, I just came up all that way for nothing. I walked up 3 flights of stairs, going up
thought you might want to see regarding the property. There's some pictures of both parents.
That's, yes, that's exactly.
directly next door to me. Pieces of roofing, eaves, porch, and windows have fallen to the ground and no one is living in it. Neighbors, again, have called the city and we're told the owner lives in Florida, but nothing is done. It's a shame, as this house was built in 1890 and would have been beautiful if it was rehabbed in time. Unfortunately, it might be too late to fix it up. The area has become more dangerous since changes in the valve system. The house is located 2 blocks from the bricks.
So, for the record, we have that letter that you just read, so we'll delve into that as well. Is
I don't know.
So, are you the assessor for this, or building for?
Building control.
Okay, so we have the assessor for that area. is out on maternity leave. So, that is filling in, basically, what we're doing
I'm just gonna make this. Valued. In this case, it's a single. Homes in that neighborhood. Syracuse University, you have. she stated some concerns. I understand her concerns. However, the sales in the neighborhood.
right next door to deteriorated houses, and that will affect our resale value.
Understood, and I believe that yes, you know, when somebody is looking, you know, they're looking around and seeing what's going on, so point well taken as far as that's concerned.
Maybe you've seen why I called and asked about the noise.
Well, they sent me down here to check on the audio. Usually it's just a matter of plugging the but we can't stop now. We can interrupt, but that's the thing that has to be recorded.
Right.
Because like,
They were on earlier.
Never touched them, so.
Whoops,
Are you saying we have to turn them on and off every day?
But they've
Glad they're there.
been recording, and it recorded earlier.
they can pick it up a little bit.
Same.
Let's continue on.
Jim Gooley.
Okay, so the city has submitted some comments. And so you brought in some good information with respect to pictures in your letter, and we will take what you have said into consideration as well as
This is how it
city
was
comps,
earlier.
and, you know, we'll come up with the figure that we think it should be valued at. But, you know, sales and recent sales in the area are generally a lot of what we look at, of course. It'll tell you what, where things are going. On these comps, do we know if they're owner occupied or?
There's really, I mean, we'd never be able to do our job. You know, there's just too many properties to in the city to deal with.
Okay.
You know, we recognize that some of them could be rentals, but you know, I mean, not all of them are for sure, and probably, you know.
And you also
Yeah,
have
there's a
to
couple
take
of pages.
into consideration that the interest rates were much lower back then, and people were trying to buy houses that were bidding exceptionally high on places, but, yeah. But a
Well,
lot of them are from 2020.
That's why the
prior,
assessment
so-
wasn't raised higher than it was, is because that was taken into consideration.
Oh, and that's a good point, of course. Is your interest rate a fixed rate?
Yes.
So it's a fixed rate, it's just the increase based on the taxes, the extra need for the escrow account. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add? No, you're pretty thorough as far as this, so let's, let me just organize the information. I'm we'll move on to the next one. So I took everything that pertained to Cambridge out of your file, so the rest of this would be Elm Street. Okay, very good. Okay, so this is 352 Elm Street.
Right.
So here, once again, 352 Elm Street, this is a three-family?
Right.
Okay. So let me jump around here. Current tentative assessed value is $79,000, which, with a land value of $7,600. That would equate to a market value of $122,481. Now, I made these changes here based on the wrong numbers. You had put down 60,000 at most. Okay, so that is still, so 60,000 is the figure. And that would be an equatable assessed value of $38,700. Okay, and let me just thumb through a little bit here. I know you're submitting some other information. In 2001, you purchased the property for $42,000. I've got a picture in here, and I'm going to pull your other information. So with that, if you could tell us a little bit about the property, size of units, rents, that kind of information.
I have that included in there, but it's a 3-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, and a 1-bedroom.
Okay.
Apartment in there.
Okay.
Right now, the 3-bedroom, I finally got the person evicted after 3 years of hell. We just moved out with Marshall on February 1st. The 2-bedroom is going through an eviction right now. I have court date on March 6th. Also hasn't paid rent in months. And the only one I have really that's going to be a tenant there is the 1-bedroom. The only one that's ever paying rents. But I do have something written to talk about the street.
Sure, go ahead.
Now for the house in Elm Street, my nightmare. When I purchased the house in 2001 as an investment, I was told the neighborhood was at the beginning of a revitalization. However, that did not occur. It seemed any rehab programs that were happening in the area just happened to not include the one long block my house was located on. It stopped on Hawley or the block up on Elm Street. I used to know some of the other property owners, and we would keep an eye on each other's property, but as time went on, the other owners felt that the city was not working with them to meet the standards of instead were punishing the landlords who were trying to keep their properties out of state and corporate owners that buy up the property. So many of them sold their properties and left. If someone actually walked down the street, and I'm sure not too many people would feel comfortable doing that now, you will see many houses, not some, that are falling apart. I have a few pictures of some of them. For the city to increase my property value by almost double is insane. To say the pandemic has not made the problem 10 times worse for landlords is even more ridiculous. The house has been broken into several times since January 2020. The second time, an attempted robbery, armed robbery, there was well over $3,000 in damages, and the police caught one person inside and the other got away. Several days after the arrest, we found a fully loaded pistol that the police overlooked when they caught the guy in the upstairs porch attempting to jump. The case was supposed to go to trial, the pandemic happened, and then nothing happened after that. The tenant I had there for 18 years decided to move out. However, her grown son with a police record and gang ties decided he wanted the apartment and wasn't going to leave. And because of the eviction stay for over 2 years, I couldn't do much. I didn't have access to the apartment when I wanted, was only getting rent when he felt like it. and there was nothing I could do about it. This past year, I've spent a fortune in legal fees to get him removed, and as of 2/1/23, he's out of the apartment thanks to the marshal. The apartment is a disaster, and as he was moving out at 4 a.m. in the morning, he locked the apartment doors, witnessed by the downstairs tenant, and before the marshal and locksmith could arrive at 9:30 a.m., the apartment was already broken into again. There's a lot of garbage left behind, much of which I can't touch for 30 days. The cost of replacing an old 84-inch door and appliances along with the trash removal company is great. This is the problem with the area. You cannot attract decent renters in this area with the way other properties are because they are not cared for. I have a vacant lot next door that was bought by the car shop next to it after the house was demolished. The man refuses to keep up the lot. There is overgrown brush that goes into my driveway and also blocks the view of my back door entrance, which is dangerous for the tenants. The owner was confrontational with me if I tried to remove any of the overhanging shrub. I've complained to the city about this, but as you can see in the pictures, a tree came down along with the overgrown brush, which is much worse in the spring and summer. It attracts bugs and animals, besides being an eyesore and a blind spot for the back of my house. There have been other issues I've had with the city recently, some including not being notified when changes are made and fines being assessed. That would include changing the inspection from 5 years to 3 years, once again during the pandemic, when many tenants are not paying rent, so they refuse to answer calls or open their doors. Being assessed a fine and not being told about it beforehand because they do not send it to the owner's address, and then add it to their tax payment, and not answering calls or voicemail for an explanation. But when they want taxes paid or assessments are done, they seem to know where to send the bill. I've also had issues with yard waste pickup last year. When I did try to clear out brush from the lot next door, I put some of it in front of the lot and the rest in front of my house. Amazing that the brush was removed from the lot, but not my house. It took well over a month to have it removed and several calls from me to the DPW. I have a video I made of it if anybody wants to see it. I just don't understand why the city is targeting certain areas at a time when we are hearing all the tax reductions that will be now because of Amazon moving here and now Micron. It is totally unfair to say you are reducing taxes but increasing assessments to make up for that. And after a time when costs have significantly increased to taxpayers, for me to do all the repairs and place all the damaged appliances will cost me at least an additional $20,000 to $30,000 more than pre-pandemic. And that's not including finding and paying for the labor to do the repairs. Not to mention the loss of rents due to people taking advantage of the pandemic stays. I expect more from this city.
We are at a 2-minute warning.
Okay,
That's what I have to say.
all right. And for the record, we have the letter, we've got a couple of lease agreements, we've got Schedule E for 2020 and 2021. Okay, and we've got some pictures that we've reviewed.
I didn't hear the rents, even though.
The rents, the 1-bedroom is $525, the 3-bedroom was $625, and the 2-bedroom is $595. It's not the outrageous amounts that other places are charging. And still, I can't get decent tenants.
Yeah, sounds like you're in a inflection point as far as tenants moving out. Do you put money into the property? Do you sell it? Is anything owed on the property? Do you have a mortgage?
About $17,000 left.
Okay, so Tom, we got the rents. That's
mine?
I took
Oh,
everything
okay.
out except for those. That's yours.
Well, we've got, the whole street was reviewed, and a lot of people got theirs, some got them raised, some were left alone, and some were lowered. You know, and we hear the argument about crime and all, and we don't look at those kind of things when we value it because we're not allowed to take those into consideration, okay?
Okay.
Now, I feel bad that there is crime going on, but I don't think it's as rampant as being portrayed, but that's, well, she has that information. But if the property was rented, being fully rented, she's getting nearly $21,000 a year in rent.
No, not.
And those
Not
other, and
$21,000.
can I speak, please?
It's not.
All right, well, I'll come back to you.
You know, a lot of the things that have to be replaced, if you make the assumption that you have normal tenancy, that those are typical maintenance items. You're going to replace refrigerators, stoves, and whatever. Now, I don't know, if the apartments include heat and
Yes, I pay all
electricity?
utilities.
Okay.
Okay. So is it on, do you just pay it, or everything's on one system?
I have 2 upstairs and downstairs, so they don't go. Good.
Okay.
Is that what you're at? I don't know what you're
Well,
asking.
so you're paying for the whole building,
Yes,
or 2 out of the 3 apartments?
I pay the whole thing.
Okay. So you try to calculate it in the rent, but
Well, the
understood.
sales in the area support the value. You know, at a minimum, if you look at the rents that she's getting, at a minimum, it would support a value of $100,000, and the adjustment, the increase may be a little high on that, but to say it's worth $60,000, we strongly disagree with that value.
Okay, so we have to,
Here's the comparable sales.
the happy meeting, have you, and we're gonna deal with, the assessed value issue, but this might be a good time potentially to liquidate, because there are, you're coming up on 2 vacancies. Do you want to put a bunch of money into it now and continue on this process that's probably going to happen again? Or, do you look at liquidating, because it is a pretty good time to sell. Income property is still pretty strong. So just consider that, is all I'm saying. Neither here nor there. We're going to take everything that you submitted as well as the city and try to come up with a fair figure with respect to the assessed value. But, because of the market and city has submitted some comps, it might be the time to think about that.
Now, where are the comps?
Yeah, let's see what we got here. There are a couple pages of comps, and you're happy to take down addresses if you like, but that's what the city used as far as their, and just keep in mind, there's no exact comp, right? So we have something that's in the ballpark, and then we plus and minus and all that good stuff to come up with a value. But like Cambridge and here, those are the ones that the city came up with. Yes.
I don't see any on that
Okay,
street
sure.
at all. But-
Well,
And that's the
in
street
a
that's
pra-
really bad. I mean,
Yeah.
if you go up to Holly where they've rehabbed everything, that's a whole different story.
And we'll look at the proximity. But from an appraisal standpoint, generally you'll take a half a mile radius, right? So, not unusual from a certified appraisal, that there wouldn't be an actual property on your street. So we'll take a closer look and see what we can come up with. But appreciate your thoughts, and a lot of them are accurate with respect to the overall scenario. Okay, anything else you want to add? All right, so we will review both properties, and we will send out 2 notices the first week of April.
Okay. All right, thank you
Thanks for
very much.
coming in.
Appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you. Okay, we've got 1206 Avery Ave.
He's getting $1,200. Yeah.
How are you?
Just want to say thank you for seeing me.
One that's at 8:20.
As an old friend of mine says, it's
But I know
better to be seen than viewed.
won't be
either one.
All right. So with that, let me swear you in. You can raise your right hand. State your name for the record.
Frank Letitia.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
So I'm going to read some information into the record. Just bear with me for 1 minute because I just want to distribute some information. Okay, so is this a one-family residence?
It's a two-family.
Okay. We have a current tentative assessment of 72, this is number 5 on our list, by the way, $72,000 with a equatable market value of $111,628. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $15,000. And that would equate to an assessed value of $9,675. Okay. Let me just thumb through. The only thing that's in here is the application.
Is it possible I could see that real quick then? The application?
Sure. Let me just get the full application.
What is it, 15? I marked it down as...
You mark the fair market value. You feel the property is worth 15. Now, if you think we need to adjust that, we can do that.
I just wasn't sure what I put down.
Okay.
Sure.
Yep. And just looking through. Okay. Okay. And the land value is $12,400. And the city has supplied some general property information and comparables. Okay. So, two-family, first of all, do you live there? Okay, you live in one of the units?
Yes, and my cousin, me and my cousin do it together.
Okay, and so, what do you, does your cousin pay rent, or is he?
He's not right at the present moment, because he's in the hospital. He had a heart attack and stuff.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know.
What does he normally pay?
Him and his boy usually do right around 6 or so. I mean, if they can afford it, because like I said, he's on disability, and his son tries to keep everything else going.
Okay, and so you live, what, downstairs?
We pretty much, and we're both
Oh, you,
the whole house.
I gotcha.
Sure, try to
Okay.
make it.
Okay, so let's just say if it was a two-family, I mean, that's how you choose to use it, and that's fine, you're the owner. But what's downstairs, what's upstairs?
It would be 3 bedrooms on each.
Okay, so each level has 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, kitchen, living room, dining room.
Kitchen, living room, and that's it.
Okay.
Just the kitchen room.
Any fireplaces? How about full basement?
Yeah,
Separate utilities?
separate utilities,
Attic?
yes. Yeah.
Okay. And how about does it have driveway, garage? Pictures would be great if you have them.
Greatest.
That's okay. That's okay. It'll just give us some sort of semblance. Do you have a driveway?
Yes.
And garage? So we have a driveway and, okay, good. So we've got, is this your house?
Yes.
Okay. So we're talking about the subject property here. It looks like you've got some siding issues.
Oh, that happened in the last windstorm.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. You had a lot that came off.
And it's still coming off. I mean, that's what I'm in the process of doing. I have to get a lawyer, number one, and what's actually happening with that is the house was left to me. When my dad died in '07, and I thought he took care of everything. Meanwhile, I was incarcerated. I thought he had everything done, but I still have to pay the lawyers to get all the paperwork done.
To do what?
To get the house into my name.
Whose name is it?
It's in my father's name still. I've been paying the taxes since 2007.
Okay. Well, nobody's going to contest that it's going into your name, right? Okay, so it's just a matter of doing the paperwork.
And with the amount of work I try to do, I've been trying to keep with them, and we all share meals and stuff like that. We're all trying to do it together, trying to keep the taxes paid. So I can get home headquarters to come in and do the roof. I mean...
Are you working?
I work when I can, and I take care of the house, and, you know, I just try to make it any way I possibly can.
What do you do for a living?
Junking. I junk stuff, basically trash and stuff like that. And I also have some jobs when they need me, like as in heating and air conditioning or something like that, or just whatever. If somebody has something for me, I don't care if I have to shovel, you know.
Okay.
This is actually a picture from my bathroom. That's the hole and the roof.
Wow, I was going to say, is that to the outside? That's your bathroom.
That's the attic. That's the attic, and that's the roof.
Okay.
You know?
Well, that's, again, the tough situation, but, that's, the city can't subsidize, your time frame with respect to maintaining the property, right? That's your responsibility.
Exactly. And I heard you
irrespective of what's going on. That's just the way it is.
With this increase, I'm taking the money from my funds for my lawyer to get the house done so I can have home headquarters come in, which they're all ready. I just have to get that lawyer paid off, and then he can start doing the paperwork. It gets into my name. Once that gets into my name, they're willing to give me loans.
Yes, understood. How much do you owe the lawyer?
$3,500 so far.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what, because I went and paid everything off to make sure, because I have to have that paid off, the taxes paid off, in order for home headquarters to be able to do this.
Yep, absolute taxes got to be current.
I know.
Okay, so, let me go over to the city. Who's?
I spoke with the commissioner, and he has no problem with taking into account the condition of the house, as far as reduction, in the assessed value, to try to work with the homeowner to give him the opportunity to get the house fixed up.
Okay.
We know there's unusual circumstances involved, and especially with the deferred maintenance. Give him a chance to get it fixed up, and we'll whatever the board feels is a reasonable and fair assessment.
Okay, so no recommendation, it's up to us, which is fine.
Well,
or did
we would, the comps that were submitted would be based on
something in good shape?
An assumption of average market value. So when you look at those comps, you adjust for condition, and I didn't see the pictures, but if the pictures are your reaction to the picture, is there any indication of the degree of deferred maintenance that, a larger adjustment based on condition would be warranted?
Okay, understood. And of course, they're living there, so there's no unfinished scenario. We just have to come up with a value of what we feel that the property is worth currently. Let me say that, you know, the city will come back out at the end of the year and see what's transpired. But I understand you've got a lot of things going on, and I understand completely on what you need to do to be able to take the next step. And so
Joe, once the property is in your name, you can apply for the STAR exemption. That'll save you right now about $350. You'll get back from the state as a rebate, toward the property taxes.
Who's your attorney?
The attorney that he had it set up with, it is, he retired. He's up on,
No, I mean, who?
I can't remember his name. It's a real Italian name. It's a long name, but he was up on.
Is there a lien on the house?
No. Means, the only thing I have is the taxes, and there's not going to be until home headquarters. There's not going to be any kind of lien at all.
Right.
Until they get involved.
Well, yes, understood. You got to live there for 10 years or whatever.
But they're up on Mildred Ave, Newcourt, and I don't remember the attorney's name. I had it in the other paperwork that I left in the truck.
Is it Tommy Valerino?
That sounds familiar. He retired. That does sort of sound.
Oh, Vince Corbaccio? Well, they're on North Midler is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's they're in that little.
Yeah, strip mall.
I believe they're right there at one of Jan Mastery's, probably.
Correct. Ralph Vitello.
Yes.
Vince Corbaccio. Tommy Valerino took over the practice now. So they're the ones you owe?
Them are the ones I have to have the money for.
Okay.
I have to give them $3,500 to retain their services.
Yep.
And then I understand then they start working from there and going through whatever was left paperwork there, which I didn't see much.
That's who your father used?
Yes.
Okay. So they can pick up on it and get it done where it's in your name?
Right.
The tax is up to date?
Yes.
And then...
I'm almost 100% positive. Just down here, and I was even able to give them some money on the water bill too, so pretty sure I got them all.
Well, dude, look, you know what you're doing. Do the best you can. I hope that things work out with your cousin as well, and you know, I hope you can you know, work something out with the attorney, get the thing done.
Yeah.
And then proceed on with home headquarters, because every day, obviously, there's continued deferred maintenance that is getting damaged, and you know, water into your property, and I know you know.
Yeah, I know about that. Just the attorney stuff and the legal stuff. It's really, really frustrating and hard because.
But it all makes sense. I understand what you have to do. So.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, what we'll do is the city has recognized the hardship, and we will do what we can do on our end.
Sure.
And then, you know, it's going to be up to you.
Anything would be well appreciated.
Okay. Thank you for coming in. Yes, absolutely. Good luck. We'll send a notice out first week of April.
Okay. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Yes, you as well. Thank you for coming in.
Here's the last thing.
Okay, thank you. All right, we got 3 more.
When he said long Italian name on the other side, figured you knew.
Well, a few of them, yeah. Well, I'm sure it's that office.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of who in that office.
Oh, okay.
And Tommy just handled Wood Street closed.
Oh, no kidding.
So I think I'm going to call and just see what the situation is and see if they can kind of move it along.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you. Sorry you had to wait.
It's okay.
Okay, so you're here for 3 properties. I'm going to swear you in a minute, but the 3 properties are 2001 Burnett Ave, 1920 Caleb Ave, 2009 Burnett Ave. Is there any particular order you'd like to do these in?
Why don't we
Completely up
start
to you.
with 2001 Burnett Ave,
Okay.
the next doors.
And then which one after that? And then 2009 Burnett Ave after that? Okay. Very good, and then we'll do 1920 Caleb in the end. Okay. This will be number 6 on our list. 2001 Burnett Ave. If you would raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Joyce Dudell?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So we're going to do 2001 Burnett Ave and Hillsdale Ave. Let me just read some information into the record, and then it looks like you submitted some stuff here, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so this is a 5-family apartment house.
Yes.
All right. The current tentative assessed value is $158,400. Just fill that in. 158,400.
244, 245.
Yeah, the current tentative assessed value, I'm sorry, the equatable market value on 158,400, as Tom said, 245,581. Market value. Now, I just want to confirm that your estimate of fair market value is 136,000?
Well, it's the location there.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that's the right figure. Okay, so 136,000, and that would equate to an assessed value of
87,720.
87,720. Thank you. Okay, real quick. So it looks like in September of 1995, you paid $128,000 for the property? Okay, that was a while ago. And, all right, so with that...
I think I was confused on that 87, it's higher than that. I was confused on calculating that figure, so I
And
just
that's
wanted-
fine.
Okay.
Calculated it for you. The key is that you think the property's worth about $136,000.
Well, it's the corner, it's the traffic now, it's a one-way street on Collingwood. So I get all the traffic down there that turns onto Burnett to get on across the street to the on-ramp.
Gotcha.
And the trash there is horrendous. Then across the street, I don't know if you're familiar, there's a pond there of water all the time. I don't know.
I'm not that familiar with that. Okay.
I got a picture of it, actually, I can show you.
Okay.
But, and that's, I've called the city about it, and they say that it's the, it's the state in the, that's not, that's a good day. It's depressing. So. I mean, it does dry up eventually, but it's there.
Yeah, just the way it
most of the
falls
time.
and the runoff. Have you tried to contact the state?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
They say that it's the city. So I know, right? Anyway, yeah, so it's hard to get people down there to, rent. And I, actually, because of the way things are going, I started advertising as 1-bedroom apartment with an extra room, just to cut down on the amount. I was getting people calling with 4 kids, and I don't want all those people. And I have the parking lot area is small, and more wear and tear and everything, and, you know, it also is a flood area there, and the basement floods on that property, as well as the house next door, my house next door, where I live. And that's always a concern, and it's, you know, anxiety with that, and I'm not like Jan Master or somebody, or, you know, Steve Skidder. I don't, you know, when my apartments are empty, they're usually empty 2-3 months before I find the right person, and I'm not, you know, having people move out and then the next couple days later have somebody move in.
No, it's good that you're selected.
You know,
Let's just stay on the property for a second.
yes, okay.
5-unit, what do we have on the first floor?
The 2 bedrooms, they're all 2-bedroom.
How many apartments on the first floor?
2.
Okay, so there's 2 2-bedrooms on the first floor. What do we have on the second
2.
floor? 2 2-bedrooms.
And then a basement apartment.
And then a basement
Yeah.
apartment. And so the basement floods, you said?
Right.
What happens there?
Well, when we get big, bad rainstorms, I just make sure I have my wet vac there, and I've had the water into where the boiler is, and the hot water heaters goes across the hall.
How about the apartment?
And yeah, there's water in there too. Not all the time does it happen, but it happens, you know.
I'm sure that tenant's not too happy.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you get for 2-bedroom apartments?
I'm getting anywhere from, let's see, $745 to $815.
And is everything all separate in that property, utility-wise?
I paid the heat. I
pay the heat.
Yeah, it's one bill.
Okay.
I have a house meter.
Okay. And the separate electric service then?
They pay their own electricity, correct? Yeah.
Okay. All right, very good. Okay.
I mean, I had a 1917 down the street. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's all new 5-unit now. They redid the whole place, and they're assessed at 148.
Okay, that's good to know.
You know.
You have that written down here?
Yeah, 1917. It's around the corner. But it's mostly that traffic there, and I'm telling you, that pick up liquor bottles and beer bottles, and you know, I keep the place looking good, and so I can, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's never going to change.
Yeah, I know, right?
So that's just something that's going to be ongoing for you until you sell the property.
Yeah.
Okay, and did you,
I put copies of my leases in there.
got your leases, how about tax returns?
Didn't do that.
Okay. I assume a letter was sent as far as a request for tax returns? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is it possible to give us that information or get it to us?
I probably could.
Okay. It would be helpful. I'm not talking about the whole tax return, your
Yeah.
Schedule C, Schedule E.
Okay.
You know, that'll have us, give us a little history on the property rent-wise as far as what you've collected. So that would help if you could.
Okay.
If you could, sometime next week would be ideal.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go over to the city on this. Who has this?
I do.
Okay. What was the address that you brought up there? What was the address?
1917 Bernard Ave.
Do we have anything on that?
As far as the sale, or?
Well, it just sounds like it was totally remodeled. I'm just curious.
Yeah, and it's all perfect.
I'm not in charge of this area anymore. I'm representing the city, and the person that typically handles this area now is out on medical leave. You know, I don't have an answer to that question.
Okay, no problem. You have some comps though? Or
We have comparable sales. You know, the past several years, especially for the type of property that Mr. Dell owns, they've been in the Eastwood area, they've been on fire. They've just been, people are getting crazy amounts of money for the properties. You know, the assessor did increase the assessment. You know, not as much as many that he did increase. It is a five-unit apartment building. What are you getting for that one bedroom in the basement?
They're all two-bedroom.
Oh, they're all two-bedroom, I'm sorry.
They have a cat, so it's a little bit more for them. So I'm getting $790 for them.
$790. So how many, you stated that your rents range from $745. How many are paying $745?
One person's paying, they're all different. One's paying $745.
Okay,
Then I have, one's paying $765.
okay.
One is paying $775. And then I have an empty apartment now. They were paying $815.
$815, you didn't say $850, $815 was the number?
$815, yeah.
Okay.
That's empty right now, and there's damage in there, so
Okay.
it'll be empty for a while.
Okay.
I mean, I have data here that, a little bit unusual circumstances. It is a nice-looking building from the outside.
I put a lot of sweat equity into that building.
Most investors want their property to be worth more as time goes by. When did you buy this property?
I bought it for my brothers in, 95 or
94?
My mother built it.
I'm sorry? Your
My
father?
mother built
Your
it.
mother built it, okay. So you bought it in 94?
95.
90,
My mother built it in 60.
and what was the sale price?
128,000.
No, those numbers don't match what we have in our records. Her numbers are higher than what we have.
What do you have?
90,000.
No, it's not.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you what we have, I mean, and even in the toughest of neighborhoods, properties rent.
Yeah, it's still a good rental area, Eastwood in general, so.
It's just that it's down there by the highway, and it, the soot and the dirt and the traffic.
Like I said, I used to be the assessor in the area. I'm
Yeah.
very familiar with the area. I'm going to leave it up to the board to make a call on this. There are plenty of sales in the Eastwood market that more than support the assessment on the property. Yeah, it's a judgment call on your part.
Okay. So we got the feedback from the city. You brought some good information, so we'll take a look at everything and then make a decision, and I'll give you the blanket statement when we're done with the 3 properties. But good stuff. Oh, yeah. Nice looking building.
Thank you.
You maintain it well, which is good. I understand where you're coming from. Okay. Nothing else you want to add on that
No,
property?
the 90,000, I had money in a trust, and it was 90,000, and then there was another 40,000 that I paid each of my brothers, so that's how.
Well, what you did is,
So-
let's not go there because
Okay.
it's,
No, it was like.
Yeah,
That's all
understood.
right, okay,
On whatever was filed,
Yeah.
it was 90,000.
okay.
So we'll leave it at that. So now 2009 Burnett Ave is your residence,
That's next door, yes,
where you live.
to the apartment house.
Okay. So let me just find a couple things here. Michelle, there's a note in here. Can you tell me what this means? Please. Was it written by somebody else?
Yeah, it was, it was just when she dropped off the paperwork, this was just on top of it. And that paperwork I put in the folder.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very
That's
good.
it.
Okay, so I'll read this in. This is 2009 Burnett Avenue. This is your residence. three-bedroom Cape Cod needs a lot of work. That's your wording.
Yeah.
And so let me just read some numbers in. And the city has submitted some general information initially. This will be 7. Okay, so this here we have a current tentative assessment of $86,000.
33.3.
Yeah, that would equate to a market value of 133,333. Okay, and petitioner believes that the fair market value is $86,000. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. That would equate to an assessed value of $55,470. Let me just continue on. January 1993, it was purchased for $70,000. So this was a sibling thing too.
Yeah, we don't have the same number again.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That's fine. I don't think that we need to
no, I agree.
gather any more.
I agree with that.
There. I mean, because her figures are higher than yours, so.
She takes the house with more than we do?
No.
Oh, the sale prices, yeah, no, I agree.
Yep. Okay, and so with that, I know this is your principal residence.
Yeah, so this house, I need a lot of work in this house, and it really has no backyard, and the backyard gets filled with water, and it's affected the foundation. And like next door, I put in a French drain, I've done some things to try to divert the water down Hillsdale for this, but it's still,
It's
I don't
just
know.
one of those,
So it's not a good thing. And I've got walls with big cracks, I've got, I mean, my furnace is like from 1960, and which I want to get another one soon. But it's right there, again, across from this pond of water and the highway and the traffic. And the house next door to me, 2011, that's also Cape Cod. That's assessed for 55 for 2023.
Okay.
And they have a nice backyard, and they have a one-car garage like me, 3-bedroom. So I just,
Was this an increased assessment also?
It was 13.4.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So I just, with all those, factors, with the hill and the issues with the house, the work I need and done, I don't think I'd ever get that price to sell it, anything near that. It's, and it doesn't really have any yard or anything because the apartment house is right next to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think in today's world that it would have been allowed, to build like that.
Yep.
But there's nothing there, you know what I mean? So that's one of the things that's kind of holds me back on this whole thing, you know what I mean?
If you ever decide to sell, it would be my recommendation to try to sell both of them at the same time, because that could be attractive to somebody living next door again. To
An
the
investor
income property.
especially. An investor
Yeah.
or somebody that want to to be an owner-occupied property with income coming.
It's just, I'm not telling you
Yeah,
to
yeah,
sell.
yeah.
I'm just saying, if
I
and when you
understand.
decide to sell, if I own those properties, I try to sell them
Yeah,
as a package deal, because for the right person, man, they would love
Yeah.
that income.
That's
It's
a good
just
idea. Yeah,
just
keep that in mind.
Yeah, definitely. I think I
Yeah.
would. And again, that has nothing to do with what we're
Yeah,
trying to do.
I know.
I just thought I'd make that comment. Okay, so some deferred maintenance and what have you, which I know is not an issue as far as the city is concerned, or they can't take that into consideration. So, can I go to the city and then I'll come back to you? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's got comparable sales here. They're not on the same street. I'll let you make a call on that. There's comps here, but I think that there may be some room.
Okay. So let me just make a note.
We are on the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
You did,
Getting close to lunchtime.
you didn't do anything to the house to draw attention to it, any improvements to the house to draw attention to it or anything like that? Such as remodeling the kitchen or anything like that, correct?
No. No.
Okay. I guess the information's in the file. I ask the board to use their best judgment.
Okay, yep, that sounds good. I got a picture of the house and with some comps. And the city has expressed the thought potentially of some room in the assessed value, so we'll take a look at that like we will on the apartment building
Thank you.
as well. Yes, of course. Okay. So if there's nothing else that you want to say about that, we can move on to the
Yes,
next
okay,
property?
that's fine.
Okay. So this is 1920 Caleb Ave. This is number 8 on our list. Okay. So let me just get to the file. So this looks like this is a rental for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so,
I bought the house originally and lived there for several years.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Then my daughter actually lived there for a few years too, a couple of years ago. They're both units are rented out. I'm
All right,
sorry.
let me read it into the
Okay,
record,
go
just to get
Sorry.
some information. That's quite all right. Take one of these. She's got one, okay, good. Okay, yeah, let me just read some numbers in, please. So, once again, this is number 8 on our list, 1920 Caleb Avenue. This is a 2-family house. Current tentative assessment, $100,000. Do we have a land value on this one?
15.5.
15,500.
55.
Okay. How about, and I'm sorry to digress for 1 second, but do we have a land value on 2009
That would be in the file.
that you just handed over?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we have a land value of 14,700. 14,700.
Excuse me. Something my allergies make me
1,700. Just gonna look real quick just to make sure. Okay. The file too, I'm sorry about not reading the land values off. Land value on 2001 Burnett Ave is 27,300. 7,300, okay, sorry about that. All right, so going back to 1920 Caleb, left off with land value of 15,500. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $95,000, and that would be an equatable assessed value of $61,275. And then I just want to thumb through a little bit. Looks like January 7th of 1986, the petitioner paid $76,000. Once again, this is a two-family. And you've got some information that you submitted, appreciate that. On this one here, it'd be helpful if you were able to submit some tax return information. And so here, size of apartments, rents, that kind of information would be helpful.
Well, they're both 3-bedroom.
Okay.
And then I'm starting to do the same thing the last couple of years too, is advertise them as 2 bedrooms with an extra room, just so I don't get people with eight people calling.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So it's working out
I
too.
couldn't know any more than what you mean.
I try to go just with 2 or 3 people, and that's what I go for with less rent. You know, instead of trying to get 1,100 or whatever these people are getting, I'd rather do that than the wear and tear and everything, all the way around, everything. So anyway, I had a comparable of 200 Arch Street. I think it's a 3-bedroom upstairs, 2-bedroom down, whatever, but that has a garage, and it has a front yard, a driveway, a porch on the side. This house in 1920 Caleb has no yard in the front. You just pull right up and park right there in the front. And it has no garage, no closed little side porch or anything like that. It's pretty plain.
So you park off-street in front of the house.
I got a picture of it.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Yeah. Pretty big. Oh, it's a pretty big parking area, though.
3 cars fit there. The sewer pipe is right there, and it's been broken. People go running over it, so.
The sewer pipe is in the driveway somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh,
See, it's actually because part of it's 4 feet back from the road, so, that vent is there. It should have a mushroom cap on it. I have a flat cap on it, just so people don't hit the mushroom, I changed it over.
Okay.
And when it got broken,
Sure.
So, but yeah.
So it's flush with the ground, and I think I see that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you for that. So, I'm sorry, size of first floor, size of second floor?
They're about 850.
850 is what you, 850 square feet, okay. Separate utilities?
They pay their own heat.
Okay.
And everything.
Everything.
I pay water, of course. Yeah.
Okay, yes, but cold water, but plus utilities. What's the rents?
I'm getting 850 there and 875 right now.
Okay, so 1725.
You have the leases with that too.
Yes, which is great. Again, if you can submit the taxes, that'd be great. I'm sorry, size of the flats?
Well, let's see.
Bedroom-wise?
Bedrooms are 10 by 10, I'd say. Well, 2 10 by 10, 1 8 by 10.
Okay, so 3-bedroom flats?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah.
1 bath?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 bath.
Okay.
I mean, it needs a roof. I need to, put some money in. It needs electrical, things like that,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like, you're getting some good rents and stuff, and it sounds like you're at the point where you're gonna have to start, doing some maintenance.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have siding or anything like a lot of these other houses are sided, and they have garages, and it's got the cedar shakes on it, which is a high maintenance thing,
Yep.
So does the apartment house, they have the cedar shakes.
Yep, from a paint standpoint.
Yeah. The taxes went up like $1,000 this year. Overall,
Okay, and,
which I thought was a little high. And it's the people on each side of me, I know that, you don't look at that or whatever, but the house next to me, I got my rental registry certificate. Then a couple of days later, I got this letter saying that my house was uninhabitable. And I had to have everybody move out. But it was the house next door that it's uninhabitable, 1926. So I'm like,
So
oh
it
my
was a
God.
mistake.
Yeah, it was a mistake, but I'm just wanted to bring that up to your attention that, in the property on the other side is, they don't take care of their stuff either, and, but this one is really bad, the 1926,
yep, hence,
So,
yeah, so I get that, and it may affect you from an overall standpoint. Okay.
yes,
Thank
because
you
the
for
taxes
that.
were $3,500, and now they're up to $4,500. So they went up,
About $1,000. Let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. When's the last time it was reassessed?
In 22,
yeah, 22.
went up 422 for the year 22. So it wasn't changed this year, it was changed the previous year.
Okay.
So but she's lived with it, she's lived with it for a year with the new assessment.
Right, what I'm saying is, prior to that, do we have any,
It's been a long time. There's a long, Eastwood's a big area,
right,
and it's, the whole area of Eastwood was looked at over the past couple of years.
well, the reason why I asked that question is just, try to, keep the macro in mind, that it's possible that for a certain period of time it was underassessed. Okay, in other words, it's not a perfect science, and there's only a certain number of assessors, and they get to it, as they go on here. My point is that, it probably could have been raised, a few years ago, but it's so, you might have been on the good side, now you might be on a tough side, but overall, it's probably fair. But that said, we're still gonna look at everything that you submitted, and let me just go over to the city and see what they had to say.
Just curious, does this back up to your other properties on Burnett?
Oh,
Do the properties abut each other?
what are you talking, Caleb Avenue?
Caleb Ave, does it abut your properties that you just presented?
No.
Further down?
Down
Okay.
by Thompson Road more.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that would also be a good idea to be, and you probably
yeah,
still could
include that in the
include it as a package.
Oh,
If you,
right, yeah.
if you were thinking about, because as you know, as an investor, people are looking to make money, and they can buy, what are we now looking at?
Yeah.
8 rental properties, 9 rental properties. It's an attractive package. It's,
This is the property that, the deed was changed over to Jan Nasty's name by mistake.
yeah, okay,
He bought 1416 Caleb, and my records got pulled from 1920.
yeah.
And then the tax bill came to him and not
You and I
me.
discussed it, and we straightened it out. We did straighten it out. It was an issue, and there was a glitch in the system, and I worked with Ms. Didell, and we did straighten that out. We didn't want it to be wrong. It was not an intentional mistake, I can tell you
Right.
that.
Okay.
This is I think it was underassessed, to be honest with you. We got a sale at 1537 Caleb that's a little bit bigger that sold for 150.
That one is sided with that has a garage.
No, it doesn't have a garage. Not according to our records, it does.
15, what is it?
1534.
He has the side porches. Yeah, I know where that is. It's up the street, yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a range.
Yard in the front, yeah.
You know, I mean, you're a landlord, and I can promise you as a landlord, you don't care what size the lot is. All you really care about is there adequate parking? You don't want to be mowing lawns and doing things like that, and most landlords aren't going to look at the size of the lot and go, oh boy, that's a great lot. They're looking at cash flow. And, you know, so, you know, the size of the lot, while it might be, I mean, they're all similar sized lots according to the data that I got.
I mean, like, both like 1534, it has more curb appeal because it's got the lawn in the front and where mine
Well,
is.
that
just,
may
you know.
be, the case. I'm not, we're here to talk about your property, I'm just mentioning that sold. You know, I mean, there's a range here, and I'm gonna let the board use their discretion as to taking in consideration the income and the sales comparison. I trust that the board will make a fair decision.
Yeah, again, we'll look at everything closely based on the stuff that you submitted as well as the city. Sometime next week, you're able to drop off the tax information.
We are not open.
Oh yeah, are you able to email or maybe make it easier?
I could, or I could bring it, if I come, I can bring it downstairs.
Yeah.
You would, to room 130.
Room 130.
All right.
Either whatever's.
I'll give you my email just in case.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
you might have it.
Okay.
The,
Email, and did you want to say something else?
I did have a thought that's senior moments getting to me.
I know what you mean.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know what I was going to say, so.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Okay.
So Michelle will give you the email address. That would be helpful information.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of information, and then we will deliberate and send you 3 separate notices to the address of record
Okay.
beginning of April.
Great.
Thanks for coming
Thanks,
in.
guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming
Have a
in.
nice weekend.
You as well. Stay warm, as they say. Did you want to get her email?
Here's my-
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you.
Yes, that is definitely is. That quoted
Okay,
me the
so
other
I
day
think
when
that
it was gorgeous
that
out.
completes everything on our list.
Thank you.
I think we're good.
You have a great day.
So with that, it is 12:15, and I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting today.
So moved?
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? And I didn't say aye for being in favor. So with that, the meeting's adjourned for today.